Welcome to Shoreline, Washington. If this is your first time exploring this suburb north of Seattle, Washington, I really hope you're going to be excited. Today, this is my hometown, guys. This is where I live. This is where I grew up. And today I'm going to be sharing with you 12 hidden gems. These are kind of things that are secrets or only the locals know, and I just want you to be aware of them because this could have a big impact on your lifestyle once you get here, and also determining whether these things are appealing or not. Is this the place that you even want to come? So with as much love in my heart for Shoreline and some of the stories that I'll share, some footage of going out to these different places, I want to just get into Shoreline, Washington and the many secrets that it holds for those lucky enough to live in the area. So where is Shoreline, Washington? It is just north of the boundary of Seattle, Washington. It starts at 145th, right by the McDonald's, and it goes north to the end of the King County line. It goes from shore to shore, almost the shore of Puget Sound to the shore of Lake Washington. And now Lake Forest Park has squeezed in. That's a new little city down there that's bumped out Shoreline. But for the most part, it's just this huge big area with great school district at the top of the lake. Shoreline, Washington actually didn't become a city until 1995 when I was in high school, which makes me feel very old to reveal. But before that, it was a big neighborhood, and a lot of the houses around here got built at the end of World War II when baby boomers were returning from the war and having children. Like homes were going up like crazy, especially in the Ridgecrest area where you'll see a lot of 1940s and 1950s homes. And the schools were actually working double shifts to make sure all of these children got processed through having an education because it was that busy. There was that much growth. And this is kind of how the area got established as a big family-friendly neighborhood. Now, growing up here, one of the things that I have always enjoyed is doing things outside, not just in my yard, although I am a kind of gardening nerd, but also going through walks in the forest and having these wooded parks that we can go to escape from city life, and they're just minutes away. So Hamlin Park and Boeing Creek Park are two of our hidden gems. And actually, Hamlin Park was located between my high school and my middle school, Kellogg Middle School, Shorecrest High School, where I went for a couple of years. And so that's where I always ran cross-country practice, and I played Little League softball there as well. So I just want to show you a little clip of what it's like at Hamlin Park. So Hamlin Park now has 3 baseball fields. It also has a couple of little children's playground, jungle gym places. And it has these 2 big historic cannons, which are kind of nice. On the back side of Hamlin Park is an off-leash dog park, although I have seen lots of people walking their dog off-leash in the lower down areas. These fields are packed during baseball season, otherwise not so packed. We have come here for, in addition to softball, t-ball, and those types of things, cross-country races, and we've also come here for Cub Scouts. So they actually have covered picnic shelters here, which is where we practice making fires and things like that. So this is a great community resource. It's a pretty small park, but largely wooded, and you just feel like you're walking a loop around the park. You can get a pretty good walk in without seeing a lot of the same things and without seeing a lot of civilization. Boeing Creek Park, on the other hand, is on the adjacent property to Shoreline Community College. So there's a huge creek that runs through here. And at one point there was actually a sinkhole in this area where a big part of the road just like caved in and created this huge slope for the area. So don't underestimate the power of water and what it might be doing. Fortunately, that's not a widespread problem around Shoreline, but it is an interesting piece of the park's history. For the most part, this is just a fun place to go with the kids. This is very close to my sister's house who lives in Shoreline, so it's a great park to check out for more woodsy, peaceful walks. Now, if you want to go to a park with the best sunset, you're in luck. We actually have we have a park called Sunset Park. It actually was the site of a former school, Sunset School. And now there's no school there. It's just a park, but nearby is the Richmond Beach Saltwater Park, which is a fabulous place to go. It is a beach and it's actually got a whole sloping hillside as well. So you can go to this beach, you can watch the sunset, you can walk up along the bluff, you can go down on the sand, and in the winter, this park also has off-leash permission for dogs, not in the summer when it's going to be more crowded, but in the winter, if your dog doesn't mind a little blustery November day at the shore, you can take him down, he can brave the water, he can play fetch, and just run around on those days when you might not want to be doing quite as much time outside. Take him there, give him some intense exercise, and come home and warm up with a cozy cup of tea. I also really like this park because it has naturalists that come during low tide experiences. So during the summer, we've got 3 months of nice warm weather in the summer. They'll look for a couple of times when there's going to be a very low tide, typically tied in with the cycle of the moon. And they bring naturalists who anyone, I used to go with my kids, but anyone can go. And you put on your little boots and you go out into the water and wade around, and you can find crabs, jellyfish, sea urchins, octopi, starfish, all sorts of cool creatures that live in the rocky shoals of Washington beaches. And you can learn what they are and how to find them and how they fit into the ecosystem. And there's always a bit of a conservation message as well, like don't pollute our water because, these creatures' livelihood depends on the health of the water and the ecosystem here. Now, I mentioned before Sunset Park, which I used to go to all the time with my nephews, very close to my sister's house. And we actually walk there on Thanksgiving after we're all like stuffed with pie and need to like walk it off. Then we go, we go take a walk, get some fresh air. It's great for biking around. They just spent last year during COVID. I don't know when you're going to be watching this. They spent money like totally refreshing all the playground structure. There's a covered area for basketball. There's a soccer field. And the reason I'm bringing it up is that there are these community gardens. So all throughout Shoreline and different public parks are community gardens where you can rent a plot of land for the summer and use this to grow your vegetable garden. And this is something that's really embraced here in the Seattle area. Seattle, they call them pea patches, but just speak with the Shoreline municipal, like city of Shoreline, and ask them about renting this land. It's usually very inexpensive and it's a great community builder. So not only are you spending time outside, you're growing something healthy to eat, you're stewarding nature, you're doing it with a number of like-minded people in the community. So you get a chance to interact with people who are there maintaining their gardens, people playing in the park. And it's a wonderful way to be out in the sun connecting with others. And the nice thing about doing it here, a lot of times they'll provide you mulch material or water or classes, different things may be going on to support your community garden. So it's a great way to get plugged in. Even if you do have a nice yard at home, you might prefer a community garden for a number of these different reasons. In that vein, the next secret is a similar idea, but you don't have to grow the food yourself. This is the Shoreline Farmers Market, and it's outside every Saturday during the summer. They've got an October date and a December date as well. But this is a place where we can come to buy healthy food and support our local growers in the area. And I think this is going to be increasingly important as we want to maintain well-sourced, healthful food that takes good care of our bodies and takes good care of the land that it's grown on. So come check out the Shoreline Farmers Market, meet the community, plug in. They've got all sorts of things supporting it, including food trucks, different vendors, musicians, classes for children, and healthy recipes so that you can utilize all of that fresh produce and find out how you want to eat it. Also, I don't know if you know, here in Washington State, we have some very rich farmland in Western Washington where people grow flower gardens. And there is a community of flower gardeners here who just have fantastic flowers, which they sell all throughout the region at different farmers markets and pop-up stands everywhere. So if you see people walking out of a farmer's market with a beautiful display of flowers, chances are those are locally grown, locally assembled, and for $15 or $20, they are a beautiful addition to your table at home. Number 6, I want to point out more benefits coming to you from the City of Shoreline municipality. These are sponsored music concerts throughout the summer and outdoor theater as well. So Shoreline, I think for the region, and we're all small little cities. I know a lot of the different cities and towns. Shoreline does a very good job of hosting and promoting community activities. So they'll have outdoor movie nights. They'll have music in the park where you can come in the summer when it's light and it's warm. You can sit on the grass. You can bring a picnic chair. You can eat a sandwich, listen to all sorts of different local bands that just they've chosen to play. They have ones for kids that are during the day, and they have ones primarily, well, for anybody, families, etc., in the evenings after work. And then what I remember seeing was a community theater play. So this actually took place at the Shoreline Town Hall off Aurora. They have a little amphitheater in their backyard, and they did a play, and they had a couple different performances. My husband and I went over to Trader Joe's and grabbed, I'm sure, lots of chocolate and other snacks, and just enjoyed watching a show out under the stars. I think it started fairly late, like they wanted it to be dark. I remember being a little bit sleepy, but it was a great show, and I really enjoy theater. So we had a wonderful time on a free date doing something that was supportive of the community and supported by the community, and really a lot of fun there. So make sure you check out the schedule for whatever the City of Shoreline has happening, especially during the summer. Now, here's a secret that only locals are going to know about, and this is the ponies. So it's so funny. We call them the horses. I didn't know that they were called the ponies, but there are these two black horse statues right on 175th as you pass under the freeway. So they're in a high traffic area, and you see them almost every time I get off the freeway or on the freeway, depending on which direction I'm going. And apparently they were installed in 1998, I think. So I mostly just saw them after I came back from college and everything like that. But they're really cute because I love horses, and people dress them up for holidays. And I'm not sure if this is like the city dresses them up or local volunteers, or if it's more casual than that. Vandals, neighbors, I don't know. But they are often seen to be changing their clothes. They dress up for New Year's and for Halloween and all sorts of different things. So it's really fun to drive by and see them. And they were donated by an anonymous artist who cast them in bronze and said, I want them to be in a high traffic park-like location. And where they are is on the edge of Ronald Bog. So here by the freeway, there's a large empty lot of land called Ronald Bog, and they have just restored this park. It's a park. There's a lawn. You can go and eat or read amongst the Canadian geese, but they've restored it to have fallen logs and different, there's also like a tree arboretum preserve there. It's very small, probably like an acre or so of land, but they're really trying to set it up as nature intended, with different wildlife habitats, different cycles of, rot growth that we would find in a natural bog and preserve, to make it an asset again to the watershed and the environment of this area. It's right across the street from Meridian Elementary School and the park and ride where you get on the bus at 175th and Meridian. So if you end up living in Shoreline and taking the bus, you may very well see these ponies and say hello on a regular basis as well. So what else is there to do in Shoreline? Well, let me tell you, we have Spin Alley Bowling Center, which is a lot of fun. And if you like bowling and doing stuff inside, because it's not always a beautiful day to be outside in our parks enjoying nature, right? We have about 9 months of rain to contend with. So you need to have something to do. So Spin Alley Bowling Center is a great place to go, as well as the Highland Ice Arena. I remember learning to ice skate, and I did it there on the Highland Ice Arena floor at on Aurora. It's also a great place to take skating lessons. My next door neighbors were like, I don't know, probably wannabe Olympic figure skaters, and so they would wake up at 4 in the morning to go get ice time and go skating over there. They have hockey teams for kids, although the pressure has been taken off from the hockey because now, just in the last couple of years, they've built another ice arena with 3 rinks, I believe, out down by Northgate, the shopping mall in Seattle. So that's where the Kraken play, which is our new local professional hockey team. That's where they practice. So that's probably increased interest in playing hockey. But whenever I go down to Northgate, which I do because there's a Chipotle there, then I get a view of a lot of people coming in and out of the ice rink. And I know they do a lot of hockey as well as kids skating lessons. But if you don't want to go down to Northgate, the Highland Ice Arena still works great. And that is where I first learned about Zambonis. And now you know. The Crest Theater. We used to go here when I was a kid, and we were like, this is so cheap. It's like $3 for a ticket. And I was like, I should probably look this up before I make this video because I don't want to say, 1985 prices, and now it's 20, 40 years later. But it's still, I looked it up, $4 a ticket. So it's still incredibly cheap. This is a second run movie theater. They have several screens and they show all the big movies like a couple months after they've come out in the major theaters. So if you don't want to have your kids never see a movie and never go to the theater because you're just watching Netflix at home, but you also don't want to go to the theater and pay $20 a ticket, the Crest Theater is your answer. They have popcorn. You can go and enjoy a lot of great movies there. And it's right by Ridgecrest Elementary. I really enjoy it. It's like a neighborhood staple. It's been there forever. And I will say, I think the seats are pretty comfortable, but the last time I was there, I remember feeling uncomfortable, and it turned out I was going into labor with my daughter. So the reason that I was uncomfortable was not due to the strain of the seats as much as like contractions were starting. So I won't blame that, but I don't have a strong recollection of any discomfort from the seats other than that. But it's been a while since I've been, so I'll have to go back and check for you guys. Next, I just want to point out the Spartan Rec Center, which is a fantastic place to go and play. This is a community center. It's supported and supplemented by the government. It's at Shoreline Center, which is where it used to be a school, but I remember going there when computers were first invented. When I was in about 6th grade, they had a big computer lab there. And so we took a field trip to this location to learn how to play on the computers. But they also have a senior center and other different buildings that they do various things with. What I want to point out is the buildings that are the Spartan Rec Center. So they have great basketball courts. I used to play basketball there. They have weightlifting machines. They have camps for kids in the summer. So if you work full time and you're not able to be home with your kids during the summer, you can drop off your kids here. The camps usually run from 9 to 4 with before care and after care as additional add-on options, but they're really fun. And they have a huge track, which is a rubberized all-weather track. So you're not running in sand and mud. And they actually took out the grassy infield, and that's artificial turf as well. So the whole thing is weatherproof all year round, which is great. And this is where my dad took me starting in 5th grade to help me get in shape. I think he was the one who wanted to get in shape, and he decided that as long as he was doing it, my sister and I should come along with him. So we actually did end up following the aerobics training books, Dr. Kenneth Cooper and everything that was popular at that time. And we would go to the track and walk and run. And then we built our way up to running 3 miles. And I actually started racing here for my middle school track meets. And this is where I won a lot of my events, except for the 100-meter hurdles where I fell not once, but twice, and still got up sprinting, thinking I was maybe still in the race. Didn't end up winning, came in dead last on a 100-meter sprint with 2 falls, but it's hurdles, right? So I fell over the hurdles. but got the loudest applause I have ever gotten for finishing any race better than when I won. So I have great memories of that track, logged a lot of hours jogging around that thing, and had a great time. So if you want to get in shape, that's a super option, whether you're looking for weights, workout classes, community, or you just want to do something by yourself at the track. It's open to the public almost all the time unless there's another event going on there. And then last but not least, I want to bring up the theater. And I love going to the theater. Of course, here in Shoreline itself, we do not have access to the theater, but we do have, the Fifth Avenue Theater downtown, which gets Broadway productions. In Edmonds, they have the Driftwood Players, which is a local community group, which does a great job. Can be expensive and hard to get in. It's actually in really high demand to get tickets to those shows. So what I like to do here in Shoreline locally is two things. Number one, I go to the local high school productions, which are great. I just went to one, and usually they have about 2 or 3 per year, which are great. And we have Shoreline Community College, which has college level theater productions, and you can go to those as well. They're very affordable, a lot of fun, high quality shows, not hard to get into. I hope this has given you a great idea, a little snapshot, a little peek into at least my life here in Shoreline and some of the things as a lifelong resident of the area that I recommend doing and that I think are fun. If you have other questions or recommendations on things that I include in my next video, please let me know. And if you're looking for a home in Shoreline or the surrounding greater Seattle Bellevue area, I am more than happy to help. I am a real estate agent. You can always find out more about what I do, the different areas that we serve, by exploring on my YouTube channel or visiting me on my website, HomeProAssociates.com. I love hearing from clients. I help clients every year who have met me through this channel, and I'm looking forward to helping you, matching you up with the neighborhood that's just right. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.